I'm Ariana Day, stage manager for Fly in the Windshield. New seasons and familiar faces on this month's Houston Theater Beat.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's Houston Theater Beat. I'm your host, John Lazo, and a special thank you to the delightful Ariana Day for doing our lead-in this month. On this edition of the show, we're taking a look at new seasons around town and catching up with shows that we've been following as they head for opening night. In our backstage segment, I had the chance to sit down with Greene, the Executive Artistic Director at Main Street Theater, to take a look at their very exciting 2013-2014 season. In our in-performance segment, we catch up with Denise O'Neill, writer, producer, and director of Fly in the Windshield, as she and her cast prepare to open this exciting new script at Midtown Arts Center. And, if you recall, Harley's hot ticket last month was the exciting Cabal Productions presentation of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. Well, this month we return to the Obsidian rehearsal space to spend some time with the swashbuckling crew of this Tom Stoppard classic. So let's get started. Everybody, welcome to this month's backstage segment. I'm here at Main Street Theater's Times Boulevard venue here in the heart of beautiful Rice Village. And I'm being joined today, I'm very happy to be joined today by Greene, who is the Executive Artistic Director here at Main Street. And she's going to share with us what I think is one of the most exciting seasons that I have seen any theater present in a long time here in Houston, and that is the upcoming 2013-2014 season here at Main Street.
Thanks.
And Rebecca, thank you for joining us. I'm really glad to have you today.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to have you as a guest, and thank you for sharing your time with the Houston Theater Beat audience. I was looking at the website, and I can't tell you how impressed I was with your choices coming up for this season. It seemed to me almost as though the season itself was sort of telling a story, which is absolutely magical if you think about those choices, because as a former artistic director, I know how difficult play choice is, how important it is to the success of a season. We'll talk about the shows in just a moment, but something else is going on around here too.
Yes.
That you wanted to share with the Houston Theater Beat audience. The project is called No Place Like Home, and it involves renovations to here at the Times Boulevard building.
We're continuing with the campaign to raise the money to renovate, to put in better audience restrooms, to completely redo the backstage, which is just hardly adequate for actors and everything else that has to go on back there, and to remove the poles that are in the middle of the stage.
That's great. Good. Now, do you all have an anticipated completion date for the renovation?
We expect to have it finished by 2015. We're raising money this year to do construction in 2014. It's when we get the money, we'll do the renovation, and when the renovation's done, it'll be done.
Great. Well, that's good news, because Main Street is a very familiar venue to a lot of the Houston theater audience, and to improve your facilities, that's a tremendous thing. Congratulations.
Gonna be great. It's going to be fabulous when it's done.
A lot of work, but worth it,
yes,
I guess you would
absolutely.
say. Right. Let's talk a little bit about the season, because I'm just floored at these choices. They're so great. You're starting out, there are 5 shows in the Main Street season, and you're starting out with one of my favorite playwrights, Tom Stoppard.
Tom Stoppard is also one of mine.
Sure, and the show is The Real Thing, and you are the first director right out of the chute. You're directing The Real Thing.
Right.
Tell the audience a little bit about that play.
The Real Thing is about a writer and the woman that he loves and other people in his life. It looks at the creative process, and it also looks at it also is about love. It's about loving and what is the real thing in love.
Sure. And according to the website, your previews begin on August 31st,
Yes.
and the actual opening night is September the 5th.
Yes.
For Real Thing. So Real Thing is the first show in the season. It is coming up. Remember to get your tickets for that. Christmas, one of my favorite subjects. Last year, of course, Main Street's production of A Little House Christmas was featured on the Houston Theater Beat Christmas special, and I got tons of positive feedback about how great the kids were, the singing and dancing. I'm really intrigued by this year's choice. You are doing a Civil War Christmas and American musical celebration. Sounds incredible. What is that about?
It is. It's by Paula Vogel, and she uses some of the same, she was inspired by the same material that inspired the movie Lincoln. Okay. So she used a lot of the, she uses a jumping off point, I think, some of the Doris Kearns Goodwin book, Team of Rivals. But it takes place in Washington, D.C. during the Christmas season, right before the assassination. And it's a sort of a pageant, you know, because there are many people who populate this play. There are runaway slaves, there are Union soldiers, there are Confederate soldiers, there are, of course, Lincoln and some of his cabinet, Mrs. Lincoln.
One of my favorite musicals is right after that, Into the Woods.
Yes.
Directed by, of course, probably the most familiar name in directing here in Houston, Guy Roberts, who works for you all as well as the Prague Shakespeare Festival.
Right.
Tell us about your production of Into the Woods.
Guy, this is actually going to originate in Prague. Guy this will be our third year to collaborate. He's, of course, artistic director of the Prague Shakespeare Company. They now have a year-long lease on a space in the National Theater in Prague, and he has a number of Shakespeare plays on his roster, but he wanted to do a musical, and he wanted to do Into the Woods, and he wants to do a very intimate Into the Woods. We'll be producing it here in the 99-seat theater, not the Chelsea Market, but it'll be here at Times Boulevard. And I think there'll be a cast of 11 or 12 with a lot of doubling, it'll be more of a storytelling version, very intimate of Into the Woods.
Sure, you need to make sure you come and see Into the Woods. I didn't mention the opening night for Civil War Christmas, it looks like, is November the 29th.
Right,
it's the
it's
official
Friday
opening
after
night.
Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving. And Into the Woods opens officially on January the 16th. Right, so that's January show. Time Stands Still is the next show by Donald Margulies, and I'm not familiar with it. It seems like a modern drama.
Yes, it was on Broadway or off Broadway last season. Or two seasons ago. It's about a photojournalist who's just come back from the war in Iraq. She was injured in Iraq, and she's come back to this country to recover from her injury. She was injured by a roadside bomb, which also killed her translator, and she's grappling with the question of what is the obligation of the journalist to what she's doing? If you see something horrible happening right in front of you, do you take a picture of it so that the rest of the world knows that it's happened, or do you put the camera down and help the person?
A contemporary drama full of contemporary issues.
Right.
It sounds like Time Stands Still actually opens on March the 27th.
Yes.
So that will be coming up in the spring. And then the season concludes with, you start with one of my favorite playwrights, you end with one of my favorite playwrights. The final show of the season is Heartbreak House by George Bernard Shaw. I have a lot of Shaw fans in the HTB audience as well. And you are directing that.
I am.
First in, last out.
Yes,
right?
And I'm happy to say that Charles Crone, beloved Houston actor, will play Captain Shotover, which is
great.
One of the key roles in that. I realized that 2014 is the 100th anniversary of the start of World War I, which is, of course, what this, that Shaw set this play on the eve of World War I. So I thought, well, this is a good not to make the season too war heavy,
Right.
but these are, I thought this was a good time to be producing this play.
To exploring
Yeah.
that, and it's one of my favorite
Oh,
Shaws.
it's
and
just beautiful.
Right, the
It's
Shaw
just
language
gorgeous.
is always
Yes.
just absolutely lovely.
Yes.
Heartbreak House opens on May the 8th.
Yes.
And so that's the final show of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing stuff. Rebecca, congratulations
Thank you.
on those.
Thank you.
Here's something else that I'm really excited about. I noticed on your website, and I would like for you to explain this to the HTV audience because some of them may be interested in participating. You have a new program called Part of the Art
Right.
series, and everybody wants to be part of the art, and it sounds like this is their opportunity to do that.
It is. This is a program that Shannon Emmerich, our marketing and development director, created, and I think it's just brilliant. We'll start with the first read-through, and people can come to watch the first read-through. They don't get to participate, but
Right.
but they can watch the first read-through where the cast gets together for the first time, reads the play, talks about the designs. The designers present the designs, and so there's a kind of a ritual to that first performance.
Sure.
Then there'll be another rehearsal that they'll be invited to, whether it's a dress rehearsal or the first full run through. We're still deciding on that. The costume parade
Sure.
is another sort of event, and all of these events will have some sort of refreshments of the liquid variety.
Right.
Then of course the talk backs, and then there'll be a couple of opportunities if people are really interested to have lunch with the director or dinner with the actors.
For the Houston Theater Beat audience, most important for all things Main Street, we have the website address. Do you want to tell everyone what it is? Well, we should have a graphic on the screen.
MainStreetTheater.com, and we spell theater Theater. So don't go to the RE Theater. That's not us. That's another one.
Right.
But you spell it all out. It's a big, long website.
Right. The Main Street web address is www.mainstreettheater.com. And also theater, don't forget, is spelled E-R here at Main Street. I'd like to very much thank my guest, Rebecca Greene, Udden, who is the Executive Artistic Director here at Main Street. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the show in just a moment. Hi everybody, I'm here in the rehearsal space at Midtown Arts Center with most of the cast of Fly in the Windshield, which is Denise O'Neill's brand new original script that's getting ready to go in performance here at Midtown Arts Center. And I'm being joined by Denise O'Neill, who is the director and producer of Fly in the Windshield. Also, Omar Lewis, who's playing Vincent. Some of you may remember him from the last time we covered the show, which was the staged reading. And then on the end, we have J.R. Marshall, who's playing Ricky in this production of the show. And Denise, the last time we checked in with you at Suburbia, the show was in the staged reading phase. The Houston Theater Beat audience, a lot of them are not familiar with how the shows go from the printed page to the stage, page to stage, as we say. You went through the staged reading phase. Now you're in rehearsal and you're actually getting ready to perform the show here at Midtown. How has that journey been for you, and how has the show progressed from the reading to where you are now?
It's been exciting. Lots of work, but I think it's all worth it. We have a really great story, a wonderful cast, just a great message that we're trying to get out. So all the work, all the diligence that we put forward is going to be worth it. But it's been great. It's exhilarating. It's wonderful to see it go from the reading to this time of almost going into production. Bringing it into fruition is an exciting time for us.
Sure, absolutely. Now, is most of the cast, were they in the staged reading, or do you have a lot of brand new actors?
We have new actors. We do. We have about 4 new actors, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But one of the actors that I know is not new from the stage reading is Omar, because I got a lot of feedback from the Houston Theater Beat audience about your wonderful soap opera monologue in the show. You still have the same role, right?
Yes, sir. I do.
Good. So if everybody comes to see the show, they'll be able to do what everyone is now calling the famous soap opera monologue, right?
I hope I can deliver.
Good. How do you feel about the show going into production?
I love the progress that we've made, especially doing it from the stage reading and seeing it actually coming to life now. That's why I love rehearsal. Each day you see something new happening, everybody finds something new with their character, and that's why I love acting. I want to thank Denise here for allowing me not only to do the stage reading, to actually become Vincent Bauer. So I'm very excited to share with her what she wrote with the character to the audience.
Good, fantastic, that's excellent. And JR, you're new to the show.
I'm new to the show.
You're new to the show. Good.
In fact, I just met Denise about 2 months ago.
Good.
I was a replacement for another reading, and I played a drunk in that, and I guess she liked me.
Right. How has the journey of playing Ricky been for you? You've enjoyed it, had a good time?
The dialogue's a little tough for me, but I'm sliding into it, and true to Ricky's day, I take a fifth every night, and I'm down a quarter.
There you go. Every actor does a different thing to prepare for their roles, obviously. Well, everybody stay tuned, because what we're going to see right now is a rehearsal scene from Fly in the Windshield. Remember, what you're seeing is the progress that this production has made from the time that we covered the stage reading in Theater Suburbia up until the time the show is actually getting ready to open here at Midtown Arts Center. So stay tuned, because that's coming up right now.
It's just it. Life without Daisy ain't living. It's just dead.
Nigga, straighten your shoulders up and straighten your back and let whatever's gonna happen just happen.
I guess you're right. Ain't no use leaving and it's not gonna fix nothing, but I just don't know what I'm gonna do.
You gonna stay here. You gonna graduate. In fact, you gonna sit there and you gonna write her a letter. And you gonna tell her if she gonna leave you now when you need her the most, well, she can just kiss off.
Nah, I can't do that.
Sure you can. Right now, tell her. Kiss off.
Kiss off?
Nah, let's try it again. Look. Can you picture Daisy in your mind right now?
Yeah.
Alright. Stand up straight. I'm talking with you. Okay. Now, picture Daisy on a nice, warm, sunny day with one of them fancy sundresses on. You see it?
Yeah.
And wind blowing through her hair.
Uh-huh.
She's smiling. You see her smiling?
Oh yeah, she's smiling.
Now hold that picture, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now picture Daisy turning around
Uh-huh.
and throwing her arms around another man.
Oh!
Man, she rubbing his back too.
What?
Man, don't look at me. Look at her.
Oh yeah.
Man, look. And she laughing. You see her laughing?
Why, yes I do.
Man, what else you see her doing?
Oh, she kissing on me.
What? Oh, no, she kissing her too.
She kissing him on the lips.
Oh, no. What, you gonna let her get away with that, Neil?
Oh no.
You gonna let her disrespect you like that, Neil?
Hell no.
Well, what you gonna tell her, Neil?
I'm gonna tell that two-timing woman to kiss off. That's right, Daisy, kiss off.
That's right, Neil. Tell her again.
Kiss off, Daisy. That's right, kiss it.
There you go,
Kiss
boy.
it, kiss it, kiss it, kiss it.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about.
You better kiss it. Daisy, I'm gonna pray for you so you can just kiss off.
See? That wasn't so hard, that was it? Piece of cake.
Oh yeah.
Hey, but Neil, all you can do is pray for him, man. You only got a few more days here. You gotta see this thing to the end. I mean, I know what she did was wrong, but you're too close to throwing the towel now. I mean, she'll come around. Now, you cool?
Yeah. Kind of lost it there for a minute, didn't I?
I'm gonna have to go with yes.
Denise, you are to be congratulated. Thank you very much for having the cast do that scene for us. the amount of progress from the staged reading and your initial conceptualization of the story up till now getting ready to open in front of a paid audience here at Midtown Arts Center. It's phenomenal. Congratulations on all of that. Now I feel like the Houston Theater Beat audience is very familiar with all these characters and the story, and they're going to want to come and see the show. So give them the information on the dates, times, and where they can buy tickets.
Okay. The production will premiere on August the 1st. That's a Thursday. It'll go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August. And then we will have a show on Monday night. It'll be kind of a pay as you can. We're going to call that Industry Night, but that's going to be Monday the 5th. And then we'll close out the show on the 8th, 9th, and 10th, that last Thursday and Friday of the week. The tickets are $25. A portion of the proceeds will actually go back to the drug rehab facility that inspired this whole production. You can purchase your tickets at the door or online. They're going to be $25 either way, unless you come to the Monday night show. You can purchase your tickets online at MissLilliesGroove.com. Or if you want, you can just come to the door and pay your $25 and come enjoy the show.
Good. So everybody, again, the website address, say it again for me, or do we have the graphic up here?
It's MissLilliesGroove.com.
MissLilliesGroove.com. You can see the graphic under the screen there. And make sure that you come to Midtown Arts Center and see the world premiere of Fly in the Windshield. I'd like to thank my guest, Denise O'Neill, who's the writer, producer, director of Fly in the Windshield, Omar Lewis, who's playing Vincent, and J.R. Marshall, who's playing Ricky, and the entire cast, almost, who's here behind me, does wave. Say hi to Houston Theater Beat audience, and everybody stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the show in just a moment. I'm here at the barn rehearsal space here at Obsidian Art Space this afternoon, being joined by the director and a couple of the cast members from the upcoming Cabal Productions production of Tom Stoppard's wonderful play, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. And I'd like to welcome my guest, Leighza Walker, who's the director of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And also playing Rosencrantz, we have Brian Heaton. And playing Guildenstern, we have Chris Skelton. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you all for being on Houston Theater Beat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leighza, the Houston Theater Beat audience are really hardcore theater goers. I get a lot of feedback from that. I think they already are familiar with the conceit of the show, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are minor characters in Shakespeare's Hamlet. They become major characters in the Stoppard play, and thus hilarity ensues. But I wanted to ask you about the sort of the choice of the show and the impact on the audience, because there seems to have been a real renaissance or a revival of a lot of the existential playwrights whom I love. There's been quite a bit of Stoppard, Beckett, Pinter in town recently. They're sort of storming Houston. So what has your experience been like working with a play like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and what would you like your audiences to take home with them from the show?
Tom Stoppard is a master of the English language, and he also appears to be one of the most psychedelic people that I've ever read. And this play explores the realms of time and space and death and what happens before and after, and how your consciousness perceives what's happening to you at any given moment. And I found this play to be absolutely brilliant, some of the insights. And there are a lot of words, and I'm very proud of my actors for managing to get through, not just memorizing the words, but having the ability to understand and convey their meaning and express their meaning to the audience.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk to our Rosencrantz and our Guildenstern. Brian Heaton, of course, is a very familiar face to Houston theater-going audiences. Brian, they say, I've read the quote that we're actors, we're the opposite of people, right, from the show. What has the Rosencrantz experience been like for you?
It's really interesting. There are certain, he's, on the surface, he's kind of He's kind of a nitwit. He kind of picks up things slowly, but there are moments within the play where he does get a little bit deeper, and it makes his character very interesting to me. There's something that comes out every now and then that makes him just a little bit deeper than you originally think that he might be. It's very, very funny. He doesn't know he's being funny. He's not really, he's just kind of almost childish in a way sometimes, which makes him really fun to play.
Sure, absolutely. There's more than we just see, more going on than first meets the eye. And Chris, what about Guildenstern? It's a little bit more bleaker worldview than Rosencrantz, but still fun to play.
Yeah,
right?
he's definitely more of a jaded character, but I wouldn't say that he ever has like lost anything to the like hope-wise. He's a very hopeful person. Like that's I think why he always is very quite bleak, is because he's trying really hard. He believes he can change, you know, everything. He thinks that like there's just one thing that we can outthink this problem. Then we can fix it, and it'll be great. And then we'll go home and we'll do whatever the hell it is we want to do, you know. And of course he's just sort of leads himself in like sort of a logic circle down into oblivion, which was really hard to learn line-wise.
I bet. So you guys are having fun together. It's the whole, because you know the old saying is there's never one without the other. You guys are having a ball.
It's gotten a lot better, I think. In the very beginning, the lines were so hard to grasp.
It was
the
a
meanings
little
of the lines.
overwhelming.
There's a lot of coming back to things that we did earlier, and it took us a while to figure that out. But with the back and forth banter, slowly, every now and then somebody says, "Oh, I just realized what that meant this whole time."
Right.
That's always
it's
very
probably a
interesting,
good
too.
sign. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, stay tuned right now because we have a scene coming up from Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is coming to Obsidian Art Space very soon. And after that, we'll be back with some information about how you can come and join the cast and see the show. It's coming up right now.
We are inclusively players.
So you give exhibitions?
We give performances.
Oh, yes, of course. And there's more pay in that, is there?
There's more trade in that, sir.
Times being what they are.
Yes.
Indifferent.
Completely.
You know, no idea.
No?
Well, I mean, I've heard of, but I've never actually seen.
No.
I mean, what exactly do they do?
They keep to their usual stuff. More or less. Only inside out. We do on the stage those things which are meant to remain off, which is a kind of integrity. If you look on every exit, an entrance somewhere else.
Well, I'm not really the type of man who... But wait, don't hurry. I'll sit down and tell me about some of the things people ask you to do.
Onward!
Wait a minute. All right. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing just an idea of the kind of... how much will you do for this?
What are you playing at?
Phil! Disgusting! I'll report you to the authorities! Perverts! I know your game, all right. It's all Phil!
Do you like a bet?
What kind of a bet did you have in mind?
Leighza and actors, thank you very much for that scene from the show. Their guys are still in character, as you can see. It's an ongoing thing. Leighza, tell the Houston Theater Beat audience when the show's running, tickets, how they can get information about the show.
The show opens July 31st, and it runs 9 performances in 2 weekends. We'll be performing Wednesday through Saturday, Monday, and then Wednesday through Saturday, closing on August 10th. If you want to purchase tickets ahead of time, go to obsidianartspace.org to the Coming Events tab, and there is a button there where you can purchase tickets.
Good, excellent.
8 p.m. curtain.
8 p.m. curtain. So make sure you go visit the Obsidian website. That's obsidianartspace.org. Make sure you get your tickets to come and see Tom Stoppart's phenomenal Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which is coming up soon at Obsidian. And I'd like to thank my guest, the director of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, Leighza Walker.
Thanks again, John.
And also, they switched places on me, very sneaky. We have Guildenstern,
You weren't supposed to call that out.
played by Chris Skelton,
You're not supposed to know.
and Rosencrantz, played by Brian Heaton. And stay tuned, we'll be back with more of the show in just a moment.